Hello everybody. Today we start a new series for Stellaris. It is a 4X space exploration strategy game by Paradox. Paradox have never done a space strategy game before, but they are very well known for Europa Universalis or Crusader Kings. To give you an idea about something like what Stellaris is, it's basically Sins of a Stellar Empire or Master of Orion. You think this is something you might be interested in? So yeah, let's start by going to settings, of course, and there's not a lot of it there. There's of course borderless window, full screen, and you can also choose your own thing, but there's not great choice of what to do here. No anti-aliasing, no, everything is forced, so not very good, but then it's just strategy. I don't know if that matters to you or not. Audio, of course, a lot of options, and I have set mine to my personal preference because I want them like that. Gameplay is also, autosave. It has autosave to cloud. That's for Steam because the game is on Steam, and you have a tutorial, full tips or nothing at all. I'll leave those on just so you can hear them. Event pop-ups throughout the game, events happen, and we are going to also see those as well. So let's start. And first thing first, we create a new empire, or we play one of those already present. The walk around is basically what kind of a world this race is most comfortable with, their home planet basically, and the closer you are to that race's home planet, the better they can colonize it by a mechanic called habitability or happiness. Basically, habitability and happiness are the same thing, so when you will further read down habitability 20% or 60%, it means that their maximum happiness on that planet is 60%. So it's a little bit better, I think, managed that way against Master of Orion specifically. And each one has their traits, which can vastly affect the way these races are played or how they are communicated with. The primary technology for weapons, how they travel across the universe, and what their ships look like. Let's examine those by making one of our own. We have of diverse things you can look at on your own time, and I've made my own to test with when I was trying to learn the game, and I can also delete it if I want to or re-edit it, but let's make a new one. So select, do I want to be female or male? Obviously, well, let's go with male. Randomize. There. Turgenev, because they're humans? Maybe. Who knows? But we can start their appearance. Let's go mammalian, reptilian, avian, anthropoid, molluscoid, and fungoid. So basically it looks like a fungus or a mushroom, and this looks like a slug, and this looks like it's broad terms in the form of a human being, basically anthropoid. Avian, bird-like, reptilian, lizard-like, and mammalian, basically mammals. Well, let's just pick that and move on. Next one, we have the name. Mekones, I don't know what that is. Ukarlak, no. Equinian, Kepulke, Kenjodan, Hadadeshi, Kenjodan. Meh. That's fine. General. You can have your own things. And here you can have a name generator. You can, I don't know how, there probably is a way to import your own names, so you can change those. And I'm sure there's a guide somewhere on it. But for now, what about going with names we can recognize for the sake of everybody else? And human one seems the most Xanadu, New Roanoke. Yeah, That's gonna be fine. Okay, and this is the trade screen, basically. You have trade points left 2 and trade peaks left 4. Why are those different? They seem the same. Well, because you have points. That's a 2-pointer. So if I choose this one, I don't have any more points. So I cannot choose thrifty. Well, I could, but then my points are -0. And the goal of the racial profiling is here to be 0 for both of those. You cannot start the game if those are not 0, both of them. So while I couldn't add anything I want, I'll then have to add that, and now this is something I can work with. See how this works? Right. So we have a lot of traits to choose from. The agrarian is like, there you go, agrarian. Species has a deep connection to the land and make expert farmers and gardeners. So we have a lot of food. Food, as you can probably appreciate for if you play these games, and if you don't, I'll explain. It's the food is used to increase the population in your planet. If you land on a planet, you need to grow food, and the surplus food is what will allow your next person to grow up. Basically, the more food you have, if you have only one food, and you're gonna grow slowly, but if you have 10 food every round, then you're gonna have faster growth. You don't have rounds, but you also kind of do. I'll explain this on the map. Thrifty members of this species are instinctively economical and are always looking to make a good profit whenever corners need cutting. Energy and credits. This is your currency, your gold in other games. So these guys would make more gold than anybody else. Industrials, you have more minerals. 15% more mineral extractions. Mineral is the general basic resource you have. You don't have a lot of resources, you have minerals, you have gold, and you have some else that we are going to explain later. Intelligent, they will research things faster. That's always nice. And yes, it says engineering and physics and society output because you have 3 researching branches of or rather broad categories of research things that you can find out. So if you want to, for example, if you know about civilization, if you want to research democracy, then that's a political arena. So you would have to go on the society output, and that's how it goes. So engineering, you get armor, and physics, you get lasers, and that's how this goes. And you will see this more. Natural engineers, this is, while engineering here is 10%, this is very focused on engineering. So they are, and this is on physics, and this is on society. So while these are 15 and those are 10 everywhere, these are focused. And they are a little bit less in points as well because of that. Extremely adaptive, habitability plus 20%, meaning that any planet you can go on, you get extra 20% happiness. This is an extremely potent skill, and that's why it's 5. I may want to play a game sometime with 5 and see how I can balance it out, because how the fuck are you gonna balance 20%, 5 points? I have to choose everything else. How many minuses do we have? We have a lot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's it, 8. So I can have minus of 8. Maximum 8 points. So the U and something else, but wow, would that be difficult? Maybe we'll do this sometime. Of course, habitability -1, that would totally negate that one. And 2 -1, maybe this is a little bit more harsh. That should be 1. I don't know, it's the same. Rabbit breeders, growth time -10%. Again, that's for your population on your planets. Slow breeder, reverse. And harsher, but again, same points, only in reverse. Talented, leader skill levels. your leaders in this game, you have leaders, people like governors or other stuff that make other people that make important part of your everyday life, and the normal leader will be level 5. So with this you would go level 6 and have further increased stats and possibly increased skill points. We'll see later how that works. Quick learners. Your leaders, those guys here that you get next to level 4, would be leveled up faster. Not a bad one. And the leaders here reverse. Not that. Very strong army defense. Army, you need armies on planets to defend them or to invade other planets. Without armies, you're not doing anything. So it's very strong. You have 40% army damage, so they fucking rule. They are the Klingons. And minerals plus 10%, because they are very strong. They make good miners. Strong guys are, 20% and half exactly, but for half the effect you only have 1/4 of the investment points, so that's also good. Weak is army damage and not an effect on mineral though, so that might actually be something you want to try out. I know, Ewoks. If you're building Ewoks, weak might be the point to go. Nomadic, migration time and resettlement cost. Your people can move from one planet to the next, or you can make them move from one planet to the next. This speaks to that. So natural migration or resettlement, which you force them to go away, so you get very good times for that. And sedentary is the reverse of it, obviously. Communal, happiness. Think habitability. So happiness will be plus 5%. So while habitability will be 80% on your home world, with this we go to happiness of 5 plus 5. It's not exactly the same, there is a subtle difference between habitability and happiness, but for the purposes of starting out the game, they're pretty much the same. We'll see it later. Solitary, happiness minus 5%, charismatic. So let's read this. It says, members of this species have a special charisma and are generally considered pleasant to be around. So basically, because you have migration cannot just be from your stuff from your species to other planets of your species. Your species can actually, if you have an agreement with another empire, move to their world. Because they say, you know what, I'm part of the Federation and I fucking hate the Federation and I want to go live with the Klingons. Why not? You can do this in this game. So basically, what the charismatic says, that if I am on the same planet with another race, then that race, all the other people in that race will be a little bit happier. Because I'm there. Maybe I'm a clown, who knows, I don't care, but they are happier to have me. And this is the other way around. Think Klingons coming to the Federation and people saying, what the fuck are you doing here? Conformists, ethnic divergence. Do you see all those things that we pick here? Right. Well, they can change. They don't remain static. No. Because that's not society, and that's not Paradox. Paradox throws a lot of detail in their games. So basically, ethnic divergence means that maybe after some generations, one guy pops up that doesn't have a trait that you created the race with, because he diverged. And Woodley would be proud. Venerable, leader lifespan. Plus 120 years. Like, wow. This species can grow to an age that commands dignity and respect. So basically, your leaders don't die. 120 years plus for a good leader is so great. And that's why it's got 4 points. Enduring, same thing, but Actually, this time the relationship between the effect and the points is exactly 1/4. So 120 divided by 4 is 30, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So yeah, that actually was point for point. Decadent. Resource output without slaves, minus 10%. Because yes, this game has also slaves. You can enslave another species. Because maybe, you know, you start off being repulsed and you want to be evil and you want to conquer the whole galaxy and bring the glory of Xenu to the masses. I don't know. You can enslave other guys. And they will be your slaves, and they have rather harsh penalties to their production of anything other than minerals. But they don't get a say-so. They even uprisings, I don't think you can have slave uprising basically, but then it depends how exactly what your other people think about them, and maybe one of your guys will develop later to hate slavery, and if you have slaves then you're in deep shit. Ethnic divergence and slaves are hard. And resilience, garrison health and fortification defense bonus. That's basically when you have your protections against invasion from other species. So I don't know exactly what to start this with. Let's start by using a random and then trying to balance it out. Yeah. Okay, what is that? That is happiness plus 5. Okay, that's good. How about quick learners? No, I don't want to. What about resilient? Enduring is a nice one. Let's get rapid breeders, and let's get slow learners. No. Army damage. We don't care about that. Not much. Are we done? We actually are done, and we can go like that. Or we can add more. Nope, we cannot. We cannot because we only get 4 picks, so I was wrong. We need to choose 4 of these and they need to balance. Because if I do that, then I cannot start it. Okay, so where did we start? We started with weak. That was one of them. Conformists? No. What was it? Decadent, resilient, enduring. Yeah, enduring is also good. And communal was the other one, right? And I need one red one. Natural engineers, physicists, sociologists, that's good enough. We can do some research. Rapid breeders, okay, not bad. Quick learners, nomadic, migration. Migration helps, I suppose. Resilient, garrison health, not really. Strong. Well, we got weak, so we cannot choose. Yeah, they're opposites. Opposite current trait, weak. They cannot choose it. Right. So 1, 1, 1. Okay, let's go to natural engineers. Yay, we're gonna have good engineers. Good. Next. Choose sex. Okay, male, and we have already that. And it's not a great selection. Just 5 guys. Who is the Jaroslav? You look like a Jaroslav. I don't know why. More like a Jaroslav. And you're gonna be that's a Jaroslav. So traits, ruler, and next. Homeworld name. Birnus, no. Purejok Prime, no. Fevaria, I don't care. Adnor, no. Hujok, Hifnus, Quintus, Raten, and Gagalogaeria. That was not bad actually. No. Estwana, Vababa, no. Paliria. Why not? That's actually a Greek word, so I'm gonna remember it easily. But homeworld star name is going to be I don't know. Valyria 2, but that's gonna be Valyria. Nope. There you go. Valyria 2. I don't know what order you're gonna be in, but yeah. So we are choosing continental world or ocean world, Arctic, tundra, arid, desert, and tropical. How about we go tropical? Yeah. You are in the tropics. You're hot. Starting solar system. Randomized. Determines the layout but not location of your starting solar system. Sol, Deneb, random. Deneb, the Commonwealth of Man's starting solar system. Middle of the Earth solar system with adjacent stars. No. Random. And we move on. And we're gonna be, I don't know, an anthropoid. Because you're weirds. And now we come to the government. So I don't think you can change government types, right? Because this is much more set than anything else. You get the ethnics, okay, and I fucked up, yeah. Remember that point we were discussing the traits about the ethnic diversity? Oh god. I'm sorry, I don't have that many hours in the game, unfortunately, so that fucked up for me. Nomadic, strong, very strong. What was it? Non-adaptive? Nope. Jesus, I'm looking so bad right now. There it is. Ethnic divergence. So ethnic divergence is not actually these. No. These are stick. These are gonna apply forever and ever and ever. The ethnic divergence is here. These are the ethic points. These are gonna be the ones that change. So you can have low effect or big effect. So that's fanatic pacifist or pacifist. That's a materialist or fanatic materialist. And you get 3 points, and this costs 2 points, and this is 1 point. So that's, I can have them do that, or I can have them do that. So what are they? They're the militarist who get alliance influence cost is plus 50%. The influence is basically your other resource in the game. So this has to be explained within the game, but basically that's bad because you don't want that to have happened to you when you're in an alliance. But you do have rivalry influence gain, because if you set rivals then you gain influence with an increased rate, because you know influence is political gain. It's a political measurement of how much you can expand and use things, and when you have rivals then you get more influence. Basically think America and Russian. When American had the rivals of the Russians, then the Americans could do pretty much whatever they wanted because they have huge influence. But the UK not so much because they didn't have Russia. So something like that. And xenophobes are not gonna like other races, but they pretty much like having slaves. And all of them like having slaves here if you go fanatic. But they have a little bit of an issue in diplomacy, as you can imagine. Individualists make more money and they somewhat tolerate, or a lot tolerate, slavery, and they can actually have a greater chance of having a random person be born without or one of these things that you're gonna set here, or given one new one. Materialist, they will basically have more research, which is very nice. Pacifist, they get embassies. Embassies is how you raise your relationships with other people, other races. You set an embassy and then you can retract an embassy, but and we'll discuss more about that later. Rivalry influence gain is minus 25%, so if you set a rival, basically you don't get as much influence as you would have otherwise. Army damage is lessened, and you get more food produced, but you're not as you're less happy when you're in a war. Xenophiles, you know, we like aliens, and that's actually kind of important. Collectivists, slavery tolerance, again slaves, they like slaves, and food consumption is a lot less. Spiritualist, happiness, they have happiness. They are very happy people because they have a god, I suppose, or a plant, or a sun, or something. And that's it. Why do we choose this and why can I not choose that? Because basically, if I want to be, these are the political systems basically. So this is a republic. Everything in here is a republic or a democracy. So in order to choose military republic, the pop-ups here says that I have to be either militaristic or fanatic militaristic, and also to not be collectivist or fanatic collectivist. So if I choose this, this and that, then I can choose, yeah, I need to actually choose this and then not, yeah, be like that. Then I can have it. And what does it say? Well, I have an election every 5 years, army upkeep is lessened, ship upkeep is lessened, and war happiness is 5%. And you can select your ethnic divergence is minus 10% for the theocratic republic. Directed democracy, I have +2 core sector planets, which is very, very nice actually. Although, how does democracy affect how many planets I can have? Well, because that is actually not what you think. Core sector planets does not mean that I start with +2 planets. No. If you didn't assume that, then way to go, you're far more smart than I ever was. Because I actually did try this and I said, what the hell does that then happen? Because I didn't know the game. The game has something called sectors. Once the game goes way, way over, and you are now controlling something like 20, 30, 40 planets, then becomes a chore. And Paradox have a way to limit that chore. You create sectors, you give them a government, and they produce based on some guidance you give them. And that's what a sector means. And when you choose direct democracy, then you can have more planets in a sector, which is nice. And all the other, this is bureaucracy, directorate, oligarchy or junta, dictatorship, divine update, mandate, which is basically like an emperor of Japan, think like. Despotic hegemony, enlightened monarchy, and despotic empire. All of these are very varied, so you have to choose whatever you want to play with, or all of them maybe even. And these are always available, as you can understand. So leader skill level +1, recruitment cost -10, but okay, let's start with, I don't know, let's be very good at research and let's be xenophiles to make our life a little easier on this stream. And how about we choose what we want? Research alternatives, that's nice actually. Because of the way research works, and I hope to explain that later as well. There are a lot of things coming up to explain later. And yeah, because you have to know the game to choose what you do here. So each ruler can build an elite assault army, research speed plus, survey speed plus, survey is nice. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with direct democracy. That's gonna be easier. Core sector planets +2, that's nice. Let's move. Empire name. Mandate, no. Consensus, Union, Stellar Nation, yes, nice one. And let's build our, I want an ornate, and we are going to go with that sun, with a pattern of this and that and that. Yeah. Not an ocean, no, is it? No, that's not an ocean thing. Okay, and pirate. Right, oh, octopus. Yeah, I'm in a tropical world, not an ocean world, so it doesn't really matter. green. Yes, green. Sedentary. Green. Yes, green on green on... Do we have a leaf somewhere? I'm a leaf on the wind. Zoological. That's a feather and a leaf. That's a fly. That's a thing, a wing, a bird, yeah, and a ram, and another octopus. Nope, round. Well, that's 4 pointy. That's a yin yang. I don't know, random. Come, okay, let's go. Yeah, I'm not looking, I'm just hitting things and then looking, hitting things that I have no idea what that is. Starting weapons. This is another one. Okay. Do you start with projectile weapons, basically bullets? Do you start with missiles? Or do you start with energy weapons? Space-to-space missiles armed with nuclear warheads. Missiles have excellent range, but they are vulnerable to interception by point defense systems. Projectile weapons mass drivers that use electromagnetic catapults to accelerate projectiles towards targets at blinding speeds. While somewhat limited in range, their kinetic energy and high rate of fire chew through shields with ease. And energy, these directed energy weapons emit focused laser beams at their targets. They are effective at medium to close range, largely ignoring the bulk of enemy armor. So no armor here for these guys, no shields for these guys, and these are just missiles who are not really countered against anything other than point defense system. But I assume that the shields and armor will negate them, so yeah, maybe. I don't know. But should they go for missiles? Or should we go for energy? I don't know. Why not missiles? Let's try missiles. Why not? And this is how you travel around the universe, because not everybody travels the same way. Warp travel is standard Star Trek, with the slight addition though that every time the Enterprise goes out of warp, then you have to wait a few days before you can go to warp again. I don't know, maybe the dilithium crystal needs realignment or something. Hyperspace travel is Babylon 5. You have gates, but those gates are fixed, so think more like Mass Effect actually than Babylon 5, or actually Babylon 5 yes, but without generating any of your own hyperspace travel. So you have to have a station and the routes are fixed. Specific routes between specific star systems are already set, and that's it. You do not have a choice. You have to follow the lanes. It's a huge, already set path between one place to another. Wormhole travel is you have, I don't know, you build things, solar system. You do not open a wormhole exactly, but you have a machine do that for you. So you have in the system a wormhole that can take you to a specific range, which is rather big, and this method is actually fast. However, that means that every time you want to travel between two systems, not directly, and one of them is not your own that has the wormhole, then you have to go back to your wormhole generator. So I don't know, let's say this is a system and that's a system and this is a system. If I'm here and I want to go here, but neither of them have a wormhole apparatus, then I have to go back here and back there, and that's the sort of jumps you make. Warp travel, obviously, you can have choke points by this, but then depends if you allow the races to use the same thing or not. We can actually use warp travel because it is one of the easiest ones, and then everybody to warp travel. We'll see. And what's the design of your ship going to be? Let's go tropical anthropoid. Yeah, we got anthropoid cities. Let's go with anthropoid ships, and that's our race. Yep, we designed a race. Save the race. Thank you. Done. And we have a race. And we're gonna talk more about how to create a new game at the next episode, because this one is already running over. So, thank you for watching, stay tuned for actual gameplay next time. The introduction was necessary, you're gonna thank me later. Cool, thank you